Got a good thing for you. Don't let anyone tell me otherwise, baby. That's right, girl. We'll be fine, whatever we'll be, and you ought to know by now. But you feel to be the same no matter where we're from.
Morning, welcome to Goldilocks Lake. I don't plan these, you probably noticed. I really often don't have an idea. I have a basic idea of what I'm going to talk about, and sometimes I've written them down. I've written down like a one sentence thing, and then I'll riff on that out on the lake. Today's was inspired a few minutes before I came out, and it was inspired by me seeing a photograph posted by someone I was at primary school with. And so today I'm going to be talking about Italian prisoners of war, Polish and Ukrainian refugees, sandwiches, and David Essex. Yeah, David Essex. Whoa. Good morning. I'm in the middle of the lake, so it's not really any kind of lake time here on Goldilocks Lake. Regular viewers will know what I mean by that. I'm where the hands meet. It's beautiful this morning, isn't it always? Yes, it is, Trev. So yeah, Mike posted on his Facebook a picture of him at primary school, and he was I think a year below me, and I was quite surprised how many people that I recognised on it. And then of course the associated memories, and you know how it works, the synapses get firing and you remember things, and that's why nostalgia is a wonderful thing. You know, it's a great place to visit. Don't live there ever, but visiting there is what a lot of these stories are about. And it's interesting about the stories, I don't know why I'm telling them. I've made this quite clear before, but one of the things is that you know, if my grandson wants to know who I was, what I was like, he has this. You know, I mean, he's only 2 months old now, so he don't watch a lot of YouTube. You know what I mean, though? If he gets to like 16 and I'm not around, he will be able to go to this channel and hear the stories and know what I was like. I can't do that with any of my grandparents. I just have to remember them. And if the channel serves any purpose, then that one purpose makes it worthwhile. Anyway, so we were brought up in Denton, and Denton is quite an interesting place in that it's very, very old. In terms of the towns of Manchester, there's actually a Tudor church in the town, which, you know, we just didn't know was anything. As kids, you know, we walked through it. I walk through it every day, over the graves of people who died hundreds of years ago. They were buried in the ground, and the gravestones were flat and pavement, and we just didn't ever think, oh, this is special. This is Tudor. It was just a shortcut from Stocky Road to Town Lane. So, but the other interesting thing, and I mean, there's loads of other interesting things, but the one that I'm going to talk about today is that I went to the Catholic school there, St Mary's, and the secondary school. But today I'm going to talk about the primary school, St Mary's, and Cash's photo just really sparked me. So thanks for that, Cash. Denton, just outside of Denton, there was a prisoner of war camp in World War II, that housed mainly Italian prisoners of war, and they worked on the farms that surround Denton. Denton is close to the city centre. It's like 10 bus stops and is urban, but the urban sprawl of Manchester, which goes in every direction, doesn't in Denton, because there's, after Denton, there's this gap of farms, and then there's a place called Hyde, which is where all the flies from Denton go to live. That's an old Denton joke. And after Hyde is the Pennines. Werneth Low emerges, and that's it. That's the end of the sprawl of Manchester, because you've got the Peak District and the Pennines and the Yorkshire Moors beyond. So it's unique in that nature. We also had Poles and Ukrainians at the school, because they came over as refugees. So we got, both sides of the war. The Polish and the Ukrainians and the Italians. But the Italians didn't all leave. Some of them married local girls, whatever, and started barbershops and ice cream parlours and all of that good stuff that Italians, and restaurants of course, bring to a culture. So our school had the Manchester mix, but enhanced a bit. So we had, of course, because it was a Catholic school, we had a lot of Irish. About a third of the kids, I would say, maybe more, that I went to primary school with had Irish names and Irish parents. And then there were, Poles and Ukrainians, but a big block of Italians. So much so that their kids had to, and didn't have to, but they had Italian lessons. And a teacher would appear at a certain point in the day and call out the Italian kids. Now, because their grandparents and parents had settled, they began to bring over family members. Once you get your British citizenship, they began to bring over people from Italy. And so we had a lot of first generation Italian immigrants. These are kids who only spoke Italian and had been moved from Italy to Denton and had to get extra English lessons and stuff like that, which a lot of them got informally from us. We taught them how to swear first. And we had these amazing names that, at the time you don't notice because you're a kid and it's just someone's name, but as you get older you just think, wow, So one of the ones I remember most was Immaculata Valenti, and I believe she's in the photograph, and there are two girls in that photograph who are dressed pretty much like Italian peasant girls who've done all right for themselves would dress. The dresses are definitely Italian, not referencing anything that was going on in kids' fashion or what kids were wearing then. You could look at that photo and believe it was in an Italian village or a Sicilian village somewhere. So there was Immaculata Valenti. What a great name. And Silvano Roberta, who was hot. And a massive crush on her in secondary school. She was well fit. And Silvana Roberta, oh my goodness. And then I became really good friends with a kid who had two major challenges. One of which was polio, and the other one of which was that he was called Lorenzo, no problem. Second name, diarrhea. See what I mean? Lorenzo, diarrhea. So the poor kid, he's got polio, wears a caliper, and he's at a primary school, and his second name sounds like diarrhea. he was up against it. I think that's why I liked him. And the thing about Lorenzo is we became really good mates. Could hardly speak to each other. His English never got any good, I don't think. But we communicated, you know. One of the ways we communicated was with sandwich swapping. You know that saying, one man's garbage is another man's treasure? That was definitely true. Because I would turn up with Sunblest bread and a Shippam's paste sandwich, right? And he would have like a fresh baked ciabatta with salami and wonderful cheeses on it. And he would want my sandwiches, and I certainly would want his. So we used to swap sandwiches, and he thought he was getting the best deal. Bless him. So yeah, the other thing that we communicated with was music, and he absolutely loved pop music, and he was a massive fan of David. And David in this case was David Essex. He just worshipped him. You know, posters, and I just thought David Essex was the best thing since sliced ciabatta with salami. And the funniest thing I remember him doing, he was very funny physically, you know, like clown type funny. But the funniest thing I remember him doing, and it wasn't intentionally so, but one day I walked into the lad's toilet and I heard this clicking of his caliper, and it's like, and he sat on the toilet seat and he's swinging his caliper in a 4/4 time, and then he just goes, "Hold that, amigos, don't let me go. Oh no." And he was singing "Hold Me Close" by David Essex to the click track of his own caliper. The kid was an absolute legend. And I want to thank Mike, if you watch this, for putting that picture up today that gave me the content for today's Lakewatch. It was a great little trundle paddle down memory lane for me, and a lovely time to remember the amazing Lorenzo Dauria. That's all for today. I love you all. Bye.
Yeah.